Hello, students. This is part 2 of chapter 1 Economics. Children, today's topic is organization of production. So, what is production? What is the aim of production? These questions may arise in your mind. Production means the making or growing of something in large quantity. The aim of production is to produce the goods and services, and there are 4 requirements for the same. The first requirement is land and other natural resources such as water, forests, and minerals. Land works as a base for carrying out production activities. The second requirement is labor, that is, the people who will do the work. Some production activities require highly educated workers to perform necessary tasks like operating or handling the big and sophisticated machineries. And the workers doing manual work are also required to lift or to move the loads, to lay the bricks. The third requirement is physical capital. It means the variety of inputs required at every stage during production. Inputs can be in the form of some tools or machines. It can be raw materials. It can be money. So, children, the word input might be clear to you. So, now, children, physical capital can be categorized into two. One is fixed capital and the other is working capital. Now, what is fixed capital? Tools, machines, buildings can be used in production over many years, and these are called fixed capital. Once these are bought and installed, you need not have to buy it again for several years. Yes, but maintenance is required. Now, what is working capital? It includes raw materials and money in hand. Yarn used by the weaver and the clay used by the potter are raw materials that are used in production activities, like to make clothes and pots. And some money is also required during production to make payments, such as paying for freight, daily wages, etc. Money is also required to buy other necessary items. Now, one more point of difference between fixed and working capital is fixed capital, like tools and machines, are used in production, while working capital, that is raw material and money in hand, are used up in production. The fourth requirement is human capital. We need some knowledge and enterprise to be able to put together land, labor, and physical capital to produce an output. This is called human capital, that is, entrepreneur or businessman. So, the businessman will put together all the other 3 requirements of production, and he is termed as human capital. Every production is organized by combining land, labor, physical capital, and human capital. These are known as factors of production. Now, the next topic is land is fixed. Farming is the main production activity in Palampur. 75% of the people who are working are dependent on farming for their livelihood. They could be farmers or farm laborers. There is a basic constraint in raising farm production. Land area under cultivation is fixed. Some of the wastelands were converted to cultivable land in Palampur. No more expansion is possible. No land can be stretched out, so land is fixed, and whatever production is required is to be done on this fixed land, and this is a limitation or constraint for raising production. Now, how to increase the production on this fixed land? This we will study in our next topic. Now, the next topic is there a way one can grow more from the same land? Children, there are two methods to increase production. First is multiple cropping and the other is modern farming method. What is multiple cropping? To grow more than one crop on a piece of land during the year is known as multiple cropping. It is the most common way of increasing production on a given piece of land. So farmers here grow kharif crops in rainy season like rice, jowar and bajra. Then zaid crops like potato and other vegetables are grown. Then they grow rabi crops in winter season like wheat, pulses and oilseeds. Like this, the farmers adopt multiple cropping method to increase production. Due to electricity, farmers get facilitated to run tube wells and this irrigation system supports well in farming. Before coming to our second method, that is modern farming method, let us now know what is green revolution. Traditionally, the seeds used in cultivation were giving relatively low yields. Traditional seeds needed less irrigation. Farmers used cow dung and other natural manure as fertilizers. All these were readily available with the farmers who did not have to buy them. The Green Revolution in the late 1960s introduced the Indian farmer to cultivation of wheat and rice using high yielding varieties of seeds, that is HYVs of seeds. Compared to the traditional seeds, the HYV seeds promised to produce much greater amounts of grain on a single plant. As a result, the same piece of land would now produce far larger quantities of food grains than was earlier possible. HYV seeds, however, needed plenty of water and also chemical fertilizers and pesticides to produce best results. Higher yields were possible only from a combination of HYV seeds, irrigation, chemical fertilizers, pesticides, etc. So Green Revolution brought HYVs of seeds, chemical fertilizers, pesticides, modern machineries, and so it gave rise to modern farming method. Modern farming method raised the farm production where earlier wheat was grown only 1300 per hectare. Now it went up to 3200 kg per hectare. Farmers of Punjab, Haryana and western Uttar Pradesh were the first to try out the